get it, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Dima, come on, music. So as you know, Andrew Tate has been released into his own house arrest ability, I believe, in Romania. And a lot of guys are excited about this news. I really don't know why this is so great, but okay, this is nice. Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, they're both moved to house arrest. So they moved from custody to house arrest now. And I guess I don't know if that means he'll be able to come back onto the internet, if he'll be posting and things like this. And Fresh and Fit did this particular live stream, and the live stream is called Andrew and Tristan Tate Released, Red Pill Avengers Assemble. And there were some brothers that was there, shout out to them, on covering the topic. And this has nothing to do with those guys that are not Fresh and Fit. But I kind of want to talk about this whole thing. And the question that I want to ask is, what does the release of Andrew Tate mean for men? Let me just tell you about the manosphere community. I have been involved in, I would say, the black manosphere community for 8 years. Recently retired, but I guess you can consider me a part of the sort of greater red pill content space in a way, although my content is more or less toward, I would say, the pro-black community and things like that, or the black community at large. And I've noticed that these guys who are trying to help men overcome things that are going on in their life, I'll have to be honest, these are the most dangerous guys to men. And I know that people are so excited about Andrew Tate being released, but Andrew Tate is what we need to consider him to be. He's a fraud. Andrew Tate is a con artist. Andrew Tate is an opulent hustler who pretty much runs a pyramid scheme to scam his followers out of their money to live a lifestyle off of you because the guy doesn't want to work. That's what Andrew Tate and his brother, that's what they do, all right? The majority of Andrew Tate's money is off of, I would call them simps. Now, these are some of the same guys who come out and talk about, you don't need to simp, you need to be in the red pill and brain and masculine frame. And at the same time, these are the guys who are trying to rip you off by selling exorbitant courses, things that you just don't need, things that don't make any sense, and things that really don't change the life of men every day. And that's one thing that I will say, that I have a lot of respect for people like Alpha Male Strategies, and I have a lot of respect for Kevin Samuels, because they never did that. Whatever they got, people, they worked for it. And I'm not saying that Andrew Tate doesn't work for it, but Andrew Tate clearly does not care about men. All right. That's obviously Andrew Tate cares about himself. There's nothing that Andrew Tate can tell anybody that's going to improve the life of men. And that's just the same thing with some of these other guys out here who are selling these ridiculous courses, who are pretty stupid and no talented. I mean, I'll leave that to your discretion who I'm talking about. For the majority of it, I guess some courses might be okay. But for the most part, most of these guys are selling courses from things they haven't even experienced themselves. The reality is that if you want to become a man in society, listen to a guy like Andrew Tate. We'll give you bits and pieces of what you need. But the reality is that a lot of men are going to have to stop taking these adrenaline rushes of red pill, I would say pseudo red pill ideology, although the red pill does present good things, especially for men with red pill rage. But the reality is that you're going to have to own up to your own responsibilities. There is nothing that a podcast can do to help you gain self-esteem. There is nothing that a podcast can do to help you as far as getting your stuff together, wanting to go out there and be the best version of yourself. A podcast can't help you really do that. It's something that can influence that, albeit if you're around the right people. But another thing that the podcast can't do is help you work together with men. And as you've seen, like in the manosphere communities, and I'm guilty of this myself, a lot of the things that have destroyed the manosphere have not been women. It's been men. Especially that is obvious in what we call the gender greater or white manosphere community. You've seen war after war after war after war. When the manosphere, the general manosphere or the white manosphere was really at its height around 2016, 2017. It was like pretty much unstoppable. And we've seen the guys over there crumble in bits. The black manosphere is not as bad, but it's getting there. And the reality is that the manosphere never taught men how to interact with each other, which was the most important thing. The manosphere has always tried to teach men how to deal with women, how to get more women, how to have more ladies. And I mean, I guess that's great. But the reality is the most successful groups of men know how to interact with one another. And the red pill just doesn't teach that. The red pill teaches you everything you need to know about hookup and quick sex and maybe sometimes one pill lines and false pseudo masculinity and things like that. But most red pill content creators want to sell you something that they've already stolen, and most of them do that. I won't call any names, but there are some elements of, let's say, poaching in the game. In this space, I'll leave it at that. And they'll go out there and try to take it and use it as their own content and go out there and lie and try to sound good on their live streams or in their books. And most of these guys are incompetent and can barely read and write themselves. So they're stupid. Most of them have no absolute accomplishments in life outside of what they did on this particular platform. And so for most men that are coming into the red pill, and I've seen the ins and outs of the red pill like anybody else. I'm like one of the founders of one of the most notable red pill spaces in the world, which is the black manosphere. And I can tell you that the back end of the manosphere, if you saw how things went, it will make you cry. You'll see guys literally lying all day on streams about how high value they are. And then in the DMs, it's something different. Oh, bro, can you help me X, Y, and Z? I've seen it with so many creators. It's ridiculous. And guys will say anything once the video drops or on the camera. But in behind the scenes, these guys are not living what they're talking about. And I've seen this for years. A lot of fake it till you make it guys in the red pill space. And so a lot of guys who don't know these creators don't understand that most of these guys probably are even, some of them are even married, are dealing with chicks who are not that attractive, and yet they're telling you not to deal with chicks who are fat or something like that. And then you come to find out, or don't deal with chicks who are married or single moms. And then you come to find out that these same guys are dealing with single moms. At least for me, I tell you that I'm tricking it off, which is what I do. And I'm going to continue to do that because that's what I've always done. And I'm the only person in the red pill community that ever made a video called Walks in the Club and instantly started tricking. But anyways, I just want to tell you guys that the real key to this whole situation is that men need to learn how to operate, how to do things with one another. That's the next step for the red pill or the manosphere. It has to go beyond the women. Women are okay. Women are great. But women also pick up on the fact that men just can't get along and men just cannot stop backstabbing each other. And most of the time, if you look at your life, the majority of the jobs that you've gotten have been because of other men. Somebody has helped you or elevated you into another space or into another world. And usually, sometimes women help you, but a lot of times it's the men, right? So we need to be mindful of that when we're dealing with this. And instead of trying to, capitalize on men and some of their shortcomings and low self-esteem as far as monetary value, we need to also teach men and really stay away from the corruption and scamming of men. But we need to teach men that, hey, you need to work together. If you work together and build together, you can change the laws. You can do the same things that other communities are doing. But when you have no unity, you can't do anything. You can't be unified and mad at women. It doesn't work. And you find out that the manosphere spaces are unified with hatred for or basically being really upset at women, which it doesn't work. Because you still wanted to be with these women in the first place. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.